The anime follows Kazuma Satou, a typical sleep-deprived shut-in. He spends most of his time in his room playing video games with little to no social skills. Despite his somewhat cynical and candid personality, he is often described as quite reliable at critical moments. One day, he buys a newly released game at a local store. Kazuma dies trying to save a girl who is about to be run over by a speeding truck. Kazuma finds himself in the afterlife and is greeted by the water goddess Aqua. Despite her spirited and cheerful personality, she is called callous at times. For his good deeds, Aqua offers to reincarnate him to a fantasy world he can only imagine, much like the games he is fond of playing. In this RPG-like world, he takes on the grand conquest of defeating the wicked Devil King. To help him on his journey, Aqua offered to grant him any item or ability of his choosing. Irked by Aqua's pretentious attitude, Kazuma wished for Aqua herself to accompany him on his journey. The two later find themselves in the small town of Axel, where they enlist as adventurers. Kazuma's character is assigned the adventurer class, while Aqua's character is given the archpriest class. Their nonchalant and carefree lives started out working random laborers' work before realizing that they needed to do some actual adventuring. They needed to gather enough gold to buy better equipment and level up their skills to defeat the Devil King, hence their journey to the exciting world of Konosuba starts from here. Kazuma and Aqua venture out to the city to fight off giant frogs. Realizing it was too much to handle for them both, they sought out adventurers to join their party. They are later greeted by Megumin, the eccentric arch-wizard of the Crimson Demon clan, with a flair for theatrics. She is portrayed as loud, high-spirited, and overly proud of her magic. Kazuma welcomes Megumin to the party, but little did they know that despite her incredibly powerful explosion spell, she can only cast this once, as it completely drains her magic, and she becomes incapacitated after. Because of the resulting fallout of her magic, Megumin has been struggling to find a party to accept her. She is also described as stubborn as a mule, who refuses to learn other types of magic. With Megumin as the newest addition to their party, Kazuma is later approached by a mysterious crusader who also would like to join their party. The crusader, named Dustinus Ford La Latina, or much known as Darkness, completes Kazuma's party. Still unsure about Darkness's personality, Kazuma keeps a watchful eye on her odd behavior. In appearance, Darkness truly embodies what a crusader should be: noble, charismatic, courageous, and brave. She is described as fearless and devout to her vow to protect those around her, never hesitating to put herself in harm's way if needed. Meanwhile, Kazuma learns the steal skill from her thief friend, Chris. Kazuma realizes the practical application of the skill and uses it to steal a girl's panties. Later that day, everyone is asked to help defeat a horde of cabbage monsters sweeping through town. As everyone helps defeat the cabbage monsters, Darkness shows off her skills. Although she can deliver a powerful attack, Darkness has terrible accuracy where she mostly misses her target. She cannot use her full power as she continues to miss her attacks. Even with that said, Darkness managed to show everyone that she has quite a formidable defense and is capable of withstanding any enemy attack. It wasn't until later did they realize that her heroic acts of bravery to protect others were just a front. It was made clear during this time that Darkness has a wicked sense of masochism, where she dreams of one day being tortured by the Devil King or being married to a somewhat abusive husband who would force her to sell her body for money. One time, Kazuma accompanies Megumin as she practices her magic. Megumin manages to destroy a relatively seemingly deserted castle with an explosion. Later did they realize that one of the Devil King's generals, Verdia the Dullahan, had been living in that castle. Verdia is a depraved headless rider who was a former knight before becoming the Devil King's general. After having Megumin use his castle for magic practice, Verdia now seeks retribution and vengeance on the town of Axel and its people. Verdia manages to cast a death curse on Darkness and demands that Megumin comes and surrender herself to his castle within a week to save Darkness's life. Despite the grave threats by Verdia, Aqua manages to remove the curse from Darkness, saving a trip to the castle and fighting Verdia. Given the struggle that they had to endure as adventurers, Aqua hopes to earn some money. Much to her dismay, there are only challenge quests available now. Determined, she takes on a quest to purify the lake that is overrun with alligator monsters. To purify the lake, she is placed inside a steel bar cage for her safety. Albeit, she manages to complete the task. She is left somewhat traumatized and still reeling from hours underwater, while alligators attack her cage. Meanwhile, Kazuma is confronted by Kyoya Mitsurugi, yet another human being who was sent to Axel by Aqua. Like Kazuma, was also reincarnated, much akin to your stereotypical hero, idealistic, valiant, noble, and righteous. He is one of Belzerg's mightiest heroes, who wields the legendary cursed sword, Gram. Unlike Kazuma, Kyoya thinks of Aqua as the almighty goddess and is quite displeased with how she was being treated at Kazuma's party. Kyoya challenges Kazuma to a duel, but is swiftly defeated by Kazuma, using the new spell he learned, Steel, to take the cursed sword from Kyoya. Kazuma later sells the cursed sword Gram, while Verdia returns to Axel, dumbfounded as to why no one still hasn't come to fight him. Enraged, Verdia summons an undead army to attack the town, but is effortlessly defeated by Megumin's mighty explosion magic. Left with no choice, Verdia goes into hand-to-hand combat with Darkness, who manages to fend off his attacks with her formidable body. Kazuma discerns that Verdia is particularly weak against water, so he asks Aqua to attack Verdia with powerful water magic that floods the area, giving Kazuma the chance to steal Verdia's head. Defenseless, Aqua used high-level magic to defeat Verdia once and for all. Kazuma's party earns a hefty reward for defeating Verdia, one of the Devil King's generals. Much of the proceeds went to pay off the damages to the town caused by Aqua's flood during the intense battle. Adventuring is never easy, especially when Kazuma's party manages to incur massive debts. Now they are forced to take on a quest to kill the elusive snow sprites. While hunting snow sprites, they caught the attention of a mighty winter shogun who manages to kill Kazuma because of their recklessness. Kazuma is sent to the world's afterlife, where he meets yet another goddess named Eris. After seeing Kazuma's heroic acts, Eris offers Kazuma the chance to be reincarnated into the human world again. As Kazuma was about to accept Eris's offer, Aqua used the sacred resurrection magic to bring Kazuma back to life, missing his opportunity to return to the human world. Kazuma and Aqua frequent the town's magic shop run by the benevolent and good-natured lich named Wiz. She later reveals herself as one of the Devil King's generals. She is left in charge of protecting the barrier surrounding the Devil King's castle. Believing that it would help him on his journey, Wiz teaches Kazuma the unholy Drain Touch skill. Meanwhile, Kazuma's party takes on a request to exorcise and drive out evil spirits in an abandoned mansion. Later that night, Kazuma and Megumin find themselves in a peculiar situation where an army of possessed dolls comes after them. Aqua later confesses that it was her fault that the mansion was being haunted in the first place. After a tiring day of adventuring, Kazuma decides to spend the day relaxing with his good friends Keith and Dust. Together, they frequent the salacious shop run by the succubus who provides male adventurers repose by giving them lewd and erotic dreams. Kazuma heads for a well-deserved bath after a much satisfying yet sumptuous meal. While waiting, Kazuma mistakes Darkness entering the bath for his much-anticipated dream, not realizing that Aqua's group captured the succubus. Meanwhile, Kazuma tries to order Darkness to do dodgy lewd things, thinking it was just a dream. Kazuma ends up beaten up by the group for his somewhat perverse imagination. The following day, the horrifying mobile fortress known as the Destroyer is approaching the town. As chaos and panic ensue at the fast-approaching destroyer, Kazuma and the party is up to the task of stopping it in its tracks. With the help of the seventh lich, Wiz, they lead the attack on the destroyer. Fearing that their plan will not work, Darkness reveals to Kazuma that she is a daughter of an esteemed family and that her real name is Dustiness Ford La Latina. Back on the battlefield, Darkness faces the destroyer head-on, while Aqua uses her otherworldly magic to crack through its rather formidable barrier. Megumin works with Wiz and uses their indomitable explosion magic on the destroyer. After an arduous and tortuous battle, Kazuma's party managed to take down the impregnable fortress. While everything seems to brighten up, the group yet again faces another crisis. The self-destruct mechanism on the destroyer is activated with little time to spare. After a tumultuous search on the destroyer, Kazuma finds the core, the power source of the self-destruct mechanism. With Wiz's magic, they manage to teleport it elsewhere. At the same time, Megumin uses her remaining magic on one last monumental explosion magic on the power source, where it ends up destroying anything within a mile radius. The series ends with Kazuma being taken away and arrested by soldiers, where it was revealed that the power source they teleported away ends up destroying a noble's mansion. For more anime recaps like this, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon. As always, like and comment to help out our channel. Thanks for watching.